All right, guys, you know what time it is. It's time for another Meet the PBA staff segment. And today I am sitting with the man, Jeremy Harris.
What's going on, guys?
How you doing, brother?
Good, man.
So how you doing today, Jeremy?
Good, man. Just another day at PBA, man. Can't complain.
All right. And why don't you tell our followers and everybody listening, what's your role here at Palm Beach Autographs?
So honestly, I do a little bit of everything here. So I help in our retail store. I work down there about 15, 20 hours a week, help close the store, help keep that store going, I guess you could say, with the store manager down there. And then up here in the office, I do a lot of stuff with our affiliates. I, basically control a lot of the inventory for those guys, constantly make sure they've got enough of everything they need to be successful out in the field. So whatever the guys ask me to do, I'm pretty much just, there to do it.
You're the Swiss Army knife.
A little bit, yeah. I work signings, whatever we need help with, man, for sure.
So when did you start working with PBA? How long have you been with the company?
So I'm actually going on 2 years now with the guys. Prior to PBA, I worked in a retail store selling sports jerseys and hats and shirts. And then now I moved up to the memorabilia side of things. So it's night and day difference, I'll say that, compared to what I was doing for the last probably 10 or so years.
What were you doing before this?
So it was like selling like t-shirts, hats, fan gear basically. And then, getting on with these guys, now it's selling the higher end memorabilia, the autographs. So it's a big difference, man, for sure, from what I was doing before.
Nice. So before you started working for the company, were you a big fan of memorabilia and autographs?
So I was a casual memorabilia guy, I would say. I was a big sports fan though. So I was always into sports, and I was one of the guys where I would be hanging out outside the stadium waiting for, players to come out and stuff like that of my team. But I wasn't really someone that would like branch out and get all kinds of crazy celebs and crazy athletes, things like that. But yeah, it's opened my eyes a lot working here though, just how crazy that whole world is, man. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
So who is your team?
So my teams are scattered. Born and raised here in South Florida, so it's kind of weird, but the only South Florida team I truly root for is the Hurricanes. I'm a Titans fan for the NFL. I'm a Mavericks fan for the NBA. So my teams are definitely scattered.
I'm sorry about your Mavericks.
Yeah,
they got rocked by Boston.
Yeah, unfortunately, Boston did their thing against us. But, hey, we weren't supposed to be there, so I'll take it.
Yeah. What do you mean you weren't supposed to be there?
Hey, nobody thought that they'd get there. They were the 5 seed. So, we got a nice, promising future with the young guns. And, Luka's going to do what Luka does. So, I think he's going to be one of the best in the league for a while.
So, do you think they'll get back next year?
I think if we can bring back the same team, maybe add a piece or two, I think they have a shot at getting back, yeah. The team we brought to the finals was only together for about half the season, realistically, because they made a lot of trades in the All-Star break. So, I think they got a shot, man. I really do.
All right. Do you have any autographs at home? Do you have a personal collection?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, like I said, I was never a big autograph guy that would go and chase these guys down, but whenever my Titans would come to town, I'd always go to the Titan games against Miami or even in Jacksonville, and I would hang out outside the buses after the game, and yeah, I definitely have a nice little personal collection of autographs for sure.
Nice. What's your favorite autograph that you have at home?
Honestly, it's kind of crazy, but the favorite one I have is because it was really like the first one I remember. It was Kenny Britt signed Titans jersey because he literally signed it on my back. I was wearing the jersey, came out from the Dolphins game. I want to say it might have been a loss, honestly, so the Dolphins got us on that one. But it was just cool. It was my first time really doing the whole bus waiting outside experience. And, he came over, super nice guy. I was with my dad, and he just literally just signed the jersey right on my back. So that was pretty cool. I took it off right after, freaking out, didn't know what to do with it. Looking back now, obviously, it's like, oh, Kenny Britt, big deal. But for me, it was like first-round pick. He was a big deal at the time for me.
Do these guys talk a lot of smack to you in the office about your team since you're not?
We all have a good little rapport with each other. Don't get me wrong. I do support the Heat. I do support the Fins. Especially working here, I've been able to meet a lot of these guys. Honestly, the funniest one is definitely the Panthers, which, hey, they just won the Stanley Cup, so go Cats, go. But for me, I wasn't a big hockey guy. But I've met so many of the team this year that now I'm like, oh, I got to root for these guys. Like, they're just great people.
Yeah. It's funny when you meet them, it's easier to become a fan. You're like, this guy was in the store.
100%, man, for sure. Like I said, I've never been big into hockey, but after meeting these guys, I started following it more this season and, paying attention to specific guys. So it's kind of fun, man, actually meeting these guys and be like, oh, I was with him for 2 hours. It was cool that he just scored a goal,
Absolutely. So I heard a little bit about your personal collection. Mm-hmm. Is there an autograph in the store or that the company has that you're like, wow, I wish I could have
Yeah,
that
there's
one?
a lot of them. I'm not gonna lie. There's a lot of them. Like a couple personal ones I've always just eyed on when I started here. Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Oh, okay.
Big fan of that old school film. We do a really cool Gene Wilder, golden ticket piece. Dumb and Dumber. Classic, love that movie. We do an awesome Dumb and Dumber with them in the tuxes. So that's another one I've always wanted. And I mean, it seems like every week we get new stuff in that I'm like, oh, I want that now. No, I want that.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot I would love to buy, but the funds aren't necessarily there yet.
Yeah. No, I hear that. I hear that.
Sure.
Gotta conserve funds in this economy. Am I right?
Yeah, exactly, man.
So, okay, I heard some of your favorite teams.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know Palm Beach Autographs isn't just sports.
No.
Do you have a favorite? I know you mentioned Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. What's your favorite movie and your favorite TV show?
I mean, there's a couple. I mean, I've always been a big Back to the Future guy. Like me and my cousin, me and him watched that so many times. Back in 2015, they did the little, triple header in the movie theater. Me and him bought tickets for that, sat in the movie theater for like 7 hours that day just watching all 3 movies. So Back to the Future, of course, is huge for me. I'm a Marvel nut, so anything Marvel, Avengers, all these Marvel movies I go crazy for.
So you're obviously excited for the new Deadpool movie coming out,
for sure,
right?
yeah. Deadpool Wolverine, I think, is going to be something that everybody's going to have to see. I think it's going to be a movie everybody's going to need to see for sure.
The MCU, they're gonna turn the ship
Yeah,
around.
man, there's going to be a lot of stuff coming up, I think, man. These phases they're doing, because I'm also a huge Disney fan, and Marvel being Disney, they do the big D23. Every 2 years, and that's coming up this year, and they unveil all the stuff coming out and all that. So I'm really excited to see what happens with Marvel, man, for sure.
Nice. So outside of the job, what are some of your interests? What are some things you're into? Any hobbies?
Honestly, man, I'm a easy guy. I go home, I put on ESPN, I see what maybe movies are playing, I play on my phone, I just kind of just relax. I don't really do too much. I'm not a big guy that likes to go out. I'm more of a homebody. So I like to stay home, put on, Disney Plus and see what, Marvel films are on or whatever I might want to watch that way.
So anything about you that we'd be surprised to know? Is there a fun fact, something interesting that happened to you in your life?
Gosh, I mean, a lot of my high school years, man. So I went to a very small private school.
Okay.
My graduating class was about 18 people.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
In high school?
In high school, yep.
What?
I was valedictorian, so hey, I was a nerd back then.
Okay.
But I
Only
also
18 people. But
hey, man, don't have to say that.
That's still impressive.
Yeah, it was fun, man. I mean, I went to a small private school locally here, and I'm still actually close with a lot of the teachers and administrative people that work there at that school.
All 4 of them.
Yeah, exactly. The office had 3 people in it, so you're not that far off.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was small school, a valedictorian. I played, high school basketball, high school football. We won a state championship in basketball. So my old high school days, man. Yeah, I was having a lot of fun back then, man. So yeah, coming from such a small school, that's probably the shocking stat. When people hear 18 people, that's a big one. Yeah.
That's a small amount of people.
Yeah, 18 people in the graduating class. I was the student body president, so yeah, I knew all of them, and I'd still talk to quite a few of them. Man. It's cool.
All right, that's very cool. Very cool.
Yep.
What is the best advice you've ever been given?
I mean, growing up in that private school, I was always someone that we were always read the Bible. We always had to go to chapels and church services. And I've always believed, in the Bible it says, you do all things through Christ, which strengthens you. So I've always believed in that. And then as far as advice goes, not biblical or anything, I've always kind of just trusted myself. And I've always felt like working hard, you're going to always, see results in the end. So I've always been a believer in, just if you have adversity in front of you or something's troubling you, just kind of push through it, try your best to get it done. And at the end of the day, we're all human. So the best we can do is what we can do. It might not be your best, but if it's my best, then that's what it is. So best advice I could probably give to somebody is do what you can do and don't try and compare yourself to others. You got to do what you can do and do it to the best of your ability. And that should take you where you got to go.
I like that. I like that. Now, on the flip side, have you ever received terrible advice?
None that I can think of, honestly, that I've been like, wow, that was the worst thing I could have ever done. Except for maybe driving directions or something like that.
Okay.
Somebody might tell you to take military and, oh, no, sorry, there's a huge accident. Now you should have went down jog instead. But other than that, I can't think of anything that I've ever, said to myself, wow, I shouldn't have listened to that.
the days before GPS.
Yeah, right, exactly.
How did we get around? Where were we going?
Oh yeah, for sure.
All right, so now this is a very important question, okay?
All right.
Who is the GOAT? LeBron James or Michael Jordan?
I'm a 90s kid, 90s baby.
I know where this is going.
I will say Jordan, 100%. That's definitely my GOAT. You know, obviously I have friends that are a little bit younger than me, and they're like, bro, LeBron's numbers, though, it's this, it's that. Yeah. It doesn't matter.
It's Jordan.
Jordan's the GOAT.
Yeah.
I mean, 6-0 in the finals.
Come on.
Like, if he were to play in today's era, the way they play now, he'd probably average like 80 a game. I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah, because
so,
you can't
Jordan's
touch, you can't hand check.
No, you can't hand check. I mean, guys, if you actually look at some of the old clips, I mean, guys were clotheslining people. I'm a big WWE fan, so I know about wrestling. And I mean, they would literally, like, they would be powerbombing guys if they could back in those days. And the refs would call them for a common foul. Like, that's what it was. So
yeah.
Jordan's the GOAT, for sure.
Nice.
He's the GOAT.
And now even more broad than basketball,
Yeah.
who's the GOAT? Is it Jordan or Brady?
So that one's tough because my fiance is a huge Brady fan.
Okay.
And we actually were just in Boston a couple weeks ago for Brady's huge retirement ceremony. We flew up there, went there for 3 days, and we watched him get his number retired, did the whole thing. I'm a football guy, so I would always probably lean towards football. So if you're comparing Brady to Jordan, both GOATs, both 1A, 1B in my opinion, I would probably go Brady just because I'm a football guy. So
well,
I would lean towards football on that.
I love Brady, so there's really no wrong answer there.
Exactly. You can't go wrong with either guy.
You can't go wrong with either guy. All right, so we're almost getting to the end here. Is there anything upcoming with the business that you're excited about?
Yeah, actually, there's a lot of potential expansion that the company is looking into doing, a lot of potential new avenues we're exploring. So I'm really excited for the future of this company. I mean, I started with them, like I mentioned earlier, 2 years ago. And for where we are now compared to then, it's amazing. And just the fact that we're probably, going to continue to grow in that respect is going to be big. But, the signings are always fun. So in the immediate future, we got 2 on Waddle coming up soon. I know we're working on some Panther stuff. And, it's going to be interesting come the holiday time. I'm sure we'll do probably 20 signings in a week. I mean, we kind of overwhelm ourselves, but in a good way. So
we're going to turn you into a Dolphins fan soon.
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, I'll support them, but
you left the door open.
My Titans #1, man. You got to have it #1.
All right, and the last question is there anything you want to say to the Palm Beach Autograph followers or customers?
I mean, keep your eyes open and continue to follow us, man, because there's a lot of exciting things in the pipeline, and I know these guys are hard at work behind the scenes doing things to grow and bring as much excitement to the brand and to the fans as we can. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled, man. We're going to be doing a lot. So definitely follow us on social and continue to follow Brian and what he does, because we've got a lot of exciting things coming up now.
Jeremy, thank you, brother.
Yeah, for sure. Appreciate you, man, always.